Hello book besties, welcome back to another video. Today I am so excited because I'm going to be doing a collective book haul. I just realized that I haven't done a book haul over like the last year and a half, and I've definitely done some book shopping, so I thought I would just come on here and do a little collective book haul, show you guys some of the books that I've acquired over the last few months. Let's hop right into it. I think I'm going to start off with the book that I am most obsessed with, and that is this special edition of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I actually got this for my birthday last year, but I don't think I ever showed it to you guys, so I knew I had to show it to you in this video because this series is one of my absolute favorites. I am a huge Holly Jackson stan, and look at the design for the sprayed edges. I am literally obsessed. Then I got Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is the last book in, I don't know what the series is called, but it's part of the Part of Your World series. I have read Part of Your World and Yours Truly absolutely loved those books. I love Abby Jimenez's writing, and I am so excited to read this, especially since it's almost summer here in Australia. I don't actually know too much about this book, but I have heard from a lot of people that if acts of service is your love language, you will love this book. So I am very excited for it. I also got Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I absolutely loved the first book better than the movies, and I'm honestly a little scared to pick this one up because I feel like the first book ended in a way where you didn't really need a sequel. But I also love Liz and Wes. They are one of my favorite rom-com book couples, and Wes is one of my favorite book boyfriends, so I am interested to see what this is like. I believe this is going to be a second chance romance. I also have two books by Ashley Poston. So the first one is a very popular BookTok book, but I have got The 7 Year Slip. I feel like I am one of the last people to read this book because this was really popping off BookTok last year, I think, and so many of my favorite booktubers and BookTokers have read this and recommended it, so I'm really excited to pick it up. The concept of it honestly sounds really good. There is an aspect of magical realism in this romance, which I feel like you don't really read too much of in a contemporary romance, so I feel like the story is going to be really unique. I'm going to read the back of the book because it just sounds so interesting. 6 months ago, Clementine West had the worst day of her life, so she came up with a plan to keep her heart safe. Stay busy, work hard, take no risks. And it's been working. That is until one day she finds a strange man standing in her kitchen. A man with kind eyes, a crooked smile, and a recipe for the perfect lemon meringue pie. The kind of man that before everything she could have fallen for. He's perfect. But for one thing, he lives in the past. 7 years ago to be exact. This should be impossible, but Clementine used to love impossible things. And maybe, just maybe, she will again. That concept just sounds so interesting, and I believe every time she like leaves the apartment, she goes into like present time. So she doesn't see this man unless she's like in her apartment and it's like 7 years in the past. Really interesting concept. The other Ashley Poston book that I picked up was a novel love story. Now this one I think I'm actually the most excited about, and I haven't heard too many things about this book, but basically think of it as like if you are reading your favorite romance book of all time and you get transported to that world and you are basically the FMC of your favorite romance book. That's basically kind of what I'm gathering from this book, and I love that idea. First of all, very, very unique. Again, another magical realism moment. I think Ashley Poston is known to write a lot of magical realism. Next up, I got The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I actually bought this for my birthday this year, so that was a couple months ago. I have actually already read this book. I will share more of my thoughts in my November reading wrap up. Yes, I will be doing a reading wrap up, and yes, sadly it is my first reading wrap up of 2025 because I've been in the worst reading slump ever. But you'll see my thought in this book, but it is the first book in the Dream Harbor series, and we are following our main characters Jeannie and Logan. Jeannie is the new owner of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and Logan is the local farmer in this small town. Very autumnal cozy vibes, but I'll share with you my thoughts and my ratings in my reading wrap up. Next up, I have book 2 in the Kings of Sin series. So I got King of Pride by Anna Huang. I actually got this for $8 from Kmart. They were just randomly having a sale and I saw this on sale and I was like, I'm gonna pick this up because I am an Anna Huang stan. Her Twisted series is like one of my favorite series of all time. I'm sure you guys can see the at the back. And I actually met Anna Huang at Rare Melbourne, vlogged it. I'll have a link to it down below if you guys want to check it out. She was so lovely. I haven't actually read King of Wrath yet, only because I knew that if I picked that up, I'm gonna want to read the rest of the series immediately. But now that I have the second book, I can actually read King of Wrath because I have King of Pride right here ready to go. Then I have Rules in Love by Binti Kennedy. My beautiful bestie Ali got me this book for Christmas last year. I know, literally the fact that I am showing a book that I got last year this year is just like so crazy to me. But anyway, Ali was so kind because she managed to get this personalized and signed for me from Binti Kennedy. So lovely. So I don't really know too much about this book, but I do know this is book 1 in a romance series. It just says, have you ever wanted someone so desperately you'd just about risk everything for just one kiss? For as long as I can remember, I have lived life according to my list of 10 rules. The most important, do not date men you work with. So it's a workplace romance, okay. It's asking for trouble. Adherence has never been an issue until now. Then I have book 1 and book 3 of the Housemaid series. I do not have book 2, but I got these two from the Amazon Prime sales last month, and I actually did already read The Housemaid in October. I will share with you my thoughts on it in my November reading wrap up, but all I can say is that I am so excited to watch the movie adaptation when it comes out in December. I am so keen for it. But yeah, I've got The Housemaid and I've got book 3, which is The Housemaid is Watching. Obviously I can't read book 3 until book 2, but when I actually finish book 1, I don't really think you necessarily have to continue the series, but I did really like the first book, so I think I'm definitely going to pick up book 2 to read that, and then after that I can read book 3. But if you're looking for a thriller and you haven't read a Frida McFadden book, definitely think The Housemaid is a really good one for you. The next book I have is Dating and Other Theories by Susanna Nix, which is just a little cutie rom-com. This looks like it is a forced proximity and opposites attract trope. Everything about the guy in the apartment next door drives Esther to distraction. His hipster beanie, his movie and food opinions, and the fact that he won't stop talking to her. That is until she realizes she can use him to distract her best friend from a bad news ex. Esther strikes a deal with Jonathan. He can borrow her rocket science knowledge for a movie script he's writing as long as he asks her friend out on a date. Only the more time Esther speaks with him, the more loathing turns into attraction, then into something even deeper. So it seems like it's also enemies to lovers, opposites attract, and forced proximity. So love that combination. Before she knows it, he's broken down her carefully constructed defenses and thrown her well-ordered life into chaos. This book honestly sounds amazing, and I haven't heard anyone talk about this one either, so very keen to get to this as well. Then the next book I have is With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson. I don't know too much about this book, but I think the girl is actually like a bookseller or like works at a bookshop, and Cold World is actually a tourist destination that is a winter wonderland despite being located in Florida. Okay, so this is giving like winter romance books sort of. Yeah, it's a workplace romance as well. I feel like this is actually a Christmas book too. I don't know if this is necessarily like centered fully around Christmas, but I did see mentioning organizing like Secret Santa, and also obviously it's set in winter, and obviously this is in Florida, so it would be set around the holiday season. So I don't know if maybe I should try to get to reading this in December if it's Christmas related. I don't know. Please let me know if you've read this book and if it is kind of like a Christmassy book or not, or if I should wait until Aussie winter to read this one. Next up I have Something to Believe In by Jenna Sobevsky. This is actually, first of all, a book that I have never heard anyone talk about before, and this author is actually an Aussie author as well, and this book is set in Australia and it's a romance book. I don't think I've read a book that is actually set in Australia, like a romance book set in Australia, so I am so excited. And the MMC in this book is actually having his dream of making it into the Australian Football League, so AFL. So I think it's going to be like a football romance, but an Aussie football romance, and it's also childhood friends to lovers. I am so excited, mainly for the fact that this book is set in Australia, and I'm just so here for it. Like a romance book set in Australia feel like there needs to be more of these. Next up, I have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Now, I did watch Wicked Part 1 and Wicked Part 2 comes out very soon. I am so excited to watch that, but I decided to actually pick up the book version. Now, I know the book version is so different to the musical and Wizard of Oz. It is a much darker tale, but I was just so intrigued. I know that it's going to be so different to Part 1 and Part 2 of Wicked, but I just wanted to see for myself what is the book version. Then I have Afterlife by Gail Foreman. This book is actually a very short one. It's literally less than 300 pages long, so I feel like this is going to be really good when I'm feeling slumpy, which has basically been me this entire year. I don't know too much about this book, so I'll read the back of it. Amber Crane isn't supposed to be here. One spring afternoon, Amber cycles back home, flying down the hill, but when Amber's mum sees her, she screams. Amber died 7 years ago. Okay, I probably understand the title, but okay. Her sudden impossible return sends shockwaves rippling outwards to her family, friends and boyfriend, even to strangers she met just once who were marked by her life and loss. But above all, Amber has her own questions. Why has she been brought back? What could possibly justify this miraculous second chance? Okay, that was actually, funnily enough, the first time I read the back of this book. I'm actually really excited to read this book. It sounds so interesting. I want to know what the heck is happening. The fact that Amber died 7 years ago and now she's like back to life, but like, is she half in the real world and half in the afterlife? I don't know. That sounds really interesting. And like I said, this book is literally 250 pages, so I feel like I definitely need to pick this up soon because it sounds really interesting and it's a very short, quick read as well. The last few books that I picked up, I actually found at op shops, which is so fun. So the first book that I thrifted was Love and Rome by Jenna Lo Bianco. This is giving Euro summer vibes, of course, but also I just saw back of the book, it says moving from Melbourne, I live in Melbourne by the way, to Rome was meant to fix Stella Chiaro's life, and it did for a while, but destiny has other plans. I know that this book is not set in Australia or Melbourne, but the fact that the FMC lives in Melbourne and now she is moving to Rome sounds so interesting. I'm just going to be living through our FMC in this book. That in itself has just took me to just knowing that the FMC is from Melbourne. Anyways, with a one-way ticket home, artist Stella is running out of time and money. She is desperate to find stable work in the art world to float, or she will have to leave her beloved eternal city behind. The last thing she needs right now is distractions. The arrival of the full moon brings both the sweet owner of the new local bar and a handsome new flatmate. The promise of a new job and new love suddenly beckon Stella, but she quickly finds herself repeating patterns she once vowed not to. And then the last books that I got do not come from me. I know I am so late to the bandwagon. I thrifted the entire Divergent series. I am so baffled over the fact that I never read these books as a kid, especially as a kid who grew up reading Harry Potter, The Hunger Games and Twilight, and I was obsessed with those series. So I don't know why I never picked up the Divergent series, but here I am as a 27-year-old finally reading the Divergent series for the very first time. And I'm actually like 100 pages into Divergent, the first book. I will probably finish this before the end of the month, so it may be featured in my November reading wrap up if that's the case. But yeah, I've got Divergent, Insurgent, which is the second book, and Allegiant, which is the last book. I got the entire series for $6 from the op shop, so I'm so happy about this find. So that was my collective book haul of all the books that I have picked up over the last year. I honestly thought there would have been way more, but that was still a pretty decent haul, even if I do say so myself. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I've picked up, or if any of these are also on your TBR. I am so excited to finally be out of this reading slump because it has lasted for such a long time. But yeah, this is so much fun to do. Loved showing you guys the books that I've recently acquired. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. I'm of course going to be doing a November reading wrap up at the end of this month, so stay tuned for that. Super excited. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.